Hi everyone, welcome to Kensington Eikaiwa's video version of the lesson of today, and the topic, as you probably know, given that you're looking at this, is the topic of artificial intelligence. This is for level 2 and level 3 only. Level 1, it's a little bit too complicated because the grammar gets really hard. So for all of you from level 2 and level 3, welcome. And my name's Denny, as you probably know already, and the person with me today is our resident Polish man. His name is Bartek. So Bartek, how are you today?
I'm good today, thank you very much. Thanks for the introduction.
That's great. So today's topic, we're going to talk about AI. And one thing we're going to be focusing on today is also using specific grammar. And the grammar is something called the third-person reflexive grammar. That's a big word salad to basically say itself, myself, ourselves, herself, himself, and so on, because some of our students ask these questions on how to use that, and it's a very natural part of English. So first question for you, Bartek, and then you can ask me later. How has AI changed the way you live or work?
It didn't change it much, but at this point, AI makes my life a little bit more convenient. It's easier for me to search for information, analyze texts, outline texts. So this is AI techniques that I've been using so far.
Okay, so it helps you polish things or do things just a little bit faster. But
Yes, it saves me quite a lot of time.
yeah, I basically feel the same way now. I myself tend to use AI quite frequently nowadays, and I actually mainly use it for optimization purposes, efficiency, because I do a lot of. Most people know that I'm kind of picky about my life. I tend to be very specific about my calories, specific about my budgeting and my finances and my planning. I'm a planner. And AI is really good at putting all the things I have together and helping me come up with the plan in a more solid way. I still like to do the calculations myself, but I like to use AI as a way to expand upon that and get into the really complex calculations, like compounding interest. Compounding interest is impossibly hard to calculate. So using it in that way, and also using it as a way to reference previous things I've said to it for things like exercise, super useful. It actually saves me tons of time. So it's changed basically the way I plan things.
Yeah.
I'm still using my brain, which I think is really important. Don't rely on AI only. But it has saved a lot of time for me, so it's really good. If you had to describe AI to someone unfamiliar, how would you do it? So let's say you meet a person who comes from a deep tribe somewhere in Poland or Australia or some super countryside place. How would you describe AI to them?
That's a good one. I think I would say that it is technology that is capable of making analysis and analysis tasks similar to humans, but without consciousness.
Okay, so it's basically like a human. It can analyze things, but it's not aware that it's analyzing things.
Yes, so it can sort of think, but it's not aware of itself thinking. Yet. Maybe. I hope never.
Yeah. My background picture is the yet part, which is AI generated, by the way. So
Yeah.
It'd be difficult to describe AI to someone who's never experienced it before, because
I think we live in times where the technological progress is so fast that if you skip a couple of years, it might be hard to get what's going on.
Yeah, yeah, and it's hard to keep up with it sometimes, because there's the concept of the technological singularity, which is when you reach this point, basically technology has been maximized, so to speak, and we've reached a form of consciousness
Yes.
in computing. And I think we're getting to that point now. I think in the next 20 odd years, we're going to get there. Maybe even sooner, actually.
Maybe even sooner. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe even sooner.
Yeah, there was recent talks about them having a problem with a certain model of ChatGPT, and they told it to shut down, and it lied to avoid being shut down. So it was smart enough, and not smart in the conscious way, but it was smart enough to know that to shut down means to cease operation. So it tried to avoid that.
Yeah.
So, and this goes into philosophy, which is more like a level 10 class. What is consciousness? And it's a crazy question. We're not going to go into that today, but it's a fun question to think about. So, what do you think is the most impressive example of AI tech up to now?
The most impressive for me, it would be creation of videos.
Video creation. It is.
Video creation.
Yeah.
Video creation is, for me, the most impressive because there are so many factors that need to be accounted for when you do the video, and when the machine, upon some prompts only, can create a naturally looking video. That is at the same time awesome and scary.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So for you, the video generation tech is really the cool stuff right now.
Super impressive, and I've seen some examples of. It is not ChatGPT; it's a little bit more advanced techniques in AI. But I've seen prompts and the outcome, and it's hard to say that. It's hard to tell if it's
getting to that point.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the more impressive parts. Was it Google Sora? That's their AI thing. There's also one called Kling AI, which is a video creation tool. There's a few of them, and AI is capable by itself to generate images just based on the prompt you give it. And the way it works is, of course, it uses data sets. We supply it with millions and millions of pictures. And, I mean, not millions, billions. We supply it with so much information, and then it's able to reference these things, which is really interesting. And that's kind of how we work as humans, because when you think of a banana, you think of several different kinds of bananas, like a slightly bigger one, slightly smaller one, ones with spots and things like that. So it's similar to how we tend to utilize our memory in a way. For me, the most impressive, it's a bit difficult to say because I'm pretty into AI and I've seen some really scary stuff out of it. The music generation is unbelievable. That's unbelievable. I've made half of an album with AI. And I applied my own lyrics, and I gave it certain prompts to do specific drops to change the tone and everything. And it is unbelievably good. And I've even shown it to some of my students to ask them, is this AI or is this real music? And they can't tell. That's how good it is. And it's really impressive, I think. So I think that's the most impressive. Video generation is really impressive, and then there is some of more interesting stuff for me, which is in video games. They're doing something called frame generation. And frame generation, it's very difficult to explain, but basically games run when they're being played, they have a frame rate. And one frame is one picture. And when you have 60 frames per second, your computer is processing one frame per actually 60 of those pictures in 1 second, which makes a moving picture. And they've developed this technology called frame generation, and we're capable of reducing the amount of work your PC does because your computer will create one image of the game, and then the next 3 images are rendered by the AI. It predicts how it's going to look, and this is something that's moving, and it's really good. It's not perfect, but it's really, really, really good, and it is frighteningly impressive how quick that technology has moved. So AI is capable of taking one picture and by itself generating all these new pictures. So it's pretty amazing tech. Yeah, some amazing stuff.
And going to the beginning of our conversation, for people who haven't experienced AI, maybe there might be some level of comparison, some way of comparing real life, let's say, and the not so real life, artificially created life.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking for young generation, kids of today, who will grow up with AI, how capable will they be themselves to tell what's real, what's not real, what has elements of undisturbed reality, and what is just creation?
Yeah. And going into, I mean, our last question of the day will be, where will AI be in the next 50 years? And that goes into it, where in the next 50 years, how can we tell what's real and what's not? But a much deeper question that, another layer to that onion is, what is real anyway? Because the PCs we use right now, so I'm communicating to you through a recording that people are watching in the future, which no longer exists because that time passed. So they're watching a amalgamation of data cells constructed by a specific electrical circuitry that is now being projected onto a bunch of pixels on their screen via electricity. What is the real part of this?
Wait a second. You've probably just described the brain work.
Yeah, because brain work is like electrical imagery. It's like a projection, right? So what is real, and how do we tell what real is? And this goes into our greatest and most difficult topics, which is philosophy and reality and metaphysics. We call that metaphysics and epistemology, which I guess for Japanese people we'll have to translate to nishikiron, so the theory of knowledge. How do we know what we know? And the AI in the next 50 years, I think, will be so good that we can't tell what is generative and what is real. We won't be able to tell.
Starting from the beginning, assuming that we are not living in Matrix.
Yep. You're putting Descartes before the horse.
Yeah. Then AI.
I hope someone gets that.
AI will blur the lines additionally.
Yeah.
As if they are not blurred already.
Yeah.
So, for example, for your background picture, now we are able to tell, so this is too crazy, to be real. But I'm not so sure in 10 years. In 50 years, I'm completely out of ideas. 50 years?
Yeah.
It's like 1,000 years.
In 50 years, we might discover that we're just brains in a jar, which comes around to Descartes, where that's what he said, we're brains in a jar, which is a fantastic, terrifying idea. But AI is pretty amazing in this regard. We're getting to a point now where we're able to generate things that look real, that aren't real, that we can't really touch and feel, but we're getting to a point with other technology where we're able to actually feel these things. There's tactile kind of vests that you can wear when you play games. So when someone shoots at you in a game, you feel the vibration on your chest. So it's incredible. And here's my final thought on this is that many people are afraid of where AI is going. Personally, I'm incredibly excited for the next 5 years, let alone the next 10 years, of where technology is going. And I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I'm really looking forward to using AI to make my life incredibly easy, because I'm a lazy guy. I'm Australian. I don't want to work. So, all right.
I'm a little bit more pessimistic, but yeah, I think the next 3 to 5 years is going to be a wild ride. And as individuals, maybe we don't have as much power as we wish to stop it, so we might as well enjoy it.
Well, all you need is a shotgun and living in the woods. Just unplug and you're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just, and that's the funny joke that I can mention is people who are really into IT, their whole thing is, wow, I have everything connected and I have a smart TV, a smart watch, a smart kettle, and all this stuff. And then people who study network engineering and AI, they're the people who live in the woods with no electrical things and everything's powered by gasoline and they have a shotgun ready to go. So they're just scared of everything because they know the technology is like really, really wild. So
that's another onion to unpeel.
It is, which we don't have time for. We've peeled enough onions today. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bartek. Thanks for the interesting insights, and I hope everyone is able to understand some of this. It's pretty complicated, and now I think everyone knows why this is not a level 1 class. This is definitely one that is not easy to fully comprehend, but I think for our higher level students, it's going to be a delight to learn about these new words and this technology as well. So,
hope you can talk about it in the class.
I hope so. If not, I'll just generate a text. So have a nice weekend, and we'll see everyone in class.
Yes. See you,
All right.
everyone.
Bye-bye.